This is Mystical Ariel here to shake the matrix, expand our minds, and make us all think. Yeah, it's a special Saturday, and we are live today because I felt like I needed to go a little bit deeper on this entire religious hijacking that has happened, and how we continuously pray to an external God when we forget that that is an idol that was created to cause a distraction, to have us not gaze into the mirror, to go deep. So do me a favor today, this morning, as we gather here. Place one hand on your heart and close your eyes. And if that feels safe for you, breathe in with me slowly and breathe out. And feel your chest rise and fall like the tide. This is your first teacher, breath. Notice how it is effortless. And notice how life does itself through you. So even now, I want to begin with this radical sentence. There is no external God. What has been sold as a personified external deity who sits somewhere out there demanding worship is nothing more than a map. It is a map made by humans to control humans. And the truth is far more intimate and far more dangerous. And two old systems, you know? First of all, you are the I am. The I that knows itself is a creative presence. You are not a created of God, creature of God. You are a movement of God. You are a piece, a spark of that divine, knowing itself as you. And there is not heresy in this. This is remembering. This is a sound before words, the presence before story. And today we will trace how we forgot. Grand Risings, how's it going, Caden? Today we'll trace how we forgot. We will see how the Matrix replaced memory with myth and how we practice coming home. The Matrix is language. It's mechanics. And the word matrix simply means womb or origin. But in modern uses, it is the system that holds a false story as reality. You see, the matrix is not only technology and screens, it is grammar, rights, calendars, currencies, and expectations. The primary tool of the matrix is identity and replacement. And from your earliest matrix, your earliest naming ceremony, from the way your schooling programmed you or your organizations, they organized you into categories and you were handed a borrowed identity. It was borrowed identity. You were small. You are separate. You must obey. And how does this work specifically? How's it going, your mom? And good morning, we do not consent. There's naming and labeling. When someone names you, you accept the container. A name is a boundary. The first names given to you are also first stories you believe to be real and made you have this character. Timing and calendar, time is standardized so your life becomes a commodity, measured in hours, not in cycles. You see, a relationship to the earth is what it's, hours or this relationship to earth. They got you under debt and money, and debt keeps you working. Distracted, stressed. Stressed is fueled for the machine. How's it going, Billy? Education as conditioning. School trains attention, obedience, and nullification of deeper intuitive knowing. Religious rituals Here's the religious rituals can open the heart, by the way, or they can reroute the heart to depend on intermediaries. And we don't need that because everything is within you. The kingdom is within. It's not something external to go find. It's something to discover that has always been. And these are not conspiracies, by the way. These are patterns. You know, the system arise to perpetuate themselves. What's subtle is this: the matrix only persists because we observe it, and we continue to feed it, and we continue to allow it to be as real as what we have allowed it to be. You know, in quantum sense, observation creates form, right? And in cultural sense, attention makes institutions alive. So you remove the attention, dissolve the power. Imagine that. Now let's go a little deeper. The matrix speaks in voices. Voices of fear. Voices of scarcity. Voices of separation, divide. The antidote is learning to recognize the voice of presence, the small, quiet I am-ness within you. Beneath the noise, the I am is the key. For real. The I am is our primary identity. And the absence of the external God. This next part here is the heart of the teaching, by the way. So you've been told God is out there when this entire time God's been within here. Up there somewhere, a judge. The deeper truth is the opposite. The ground of being is the I am inside you. And when Moses met the burning bush, the name revealed was I am. Not a property, not a possession, not a possessing noun, but presence itself. Even the mystics across cultures point to the same discovery. In Vedanta, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. It's in Sufism the discovery of the self as not separate from God. You are what you've been looking for. In Christian mysticism, the mystical union where the soul recognizes itself as God's own presence. It realizes it's God. That's right. If you don't believe in anything, you can't be controlled. Can you? 100%. How can anyone control you in that? God's own presence, the agnostics text, the spark, pneuma, is divine and known itself. It doesn't say you're a separate thing from that, right? You are it. This is not spiritual ego either. It is a non-dual realization that the sense of I that watches, senses, loves, and chooses is not produced by the brain. It is the ground out of which the brain and everything else appears. How do you recognize this directly is a simple experiment. Sit quietly and put your attention on the raw feeling I. Before you add that thought, name, or story, not I am tired or I am Sarah, but the pure noticing of I am. Don't try to define it. Stay as a space of noticing. Feel the solidity, feel how solid that remains when all contact passes. That is the I am. That is not a thing you will ever lose. It's not a thing you have to go find. It is something that you gaze into the mirror and discover. It is not an object, it is a subject. And if this is true, that the presence of I am is the source, then the myth of an external God as a separate boss is simply a story. And it is useful to this system that requires people to be intermediaries, but it is not the non-dual radiant truth. So when I say there is no external God, I mean there is no other than you, creative authority. The creative authority is this I am that you are. This is dangerous, people say. This is a dangerous sentence for the intuition, for the institution, 100%. Because it removes the need for people to be in between, the intermediaries. And it is liberating for the soul because it restores responsibility and power. You are the creator observer, which means you also get to take the responsibility for what the world is looking like right now and recognize it and shift how you've been walking in it. Consciousness creates form. Let's weave in some map making from philosophy and physics without us getting lost in all this jargon. But there is a school of philosophical ideals, not a materialism that says consciousness is primary. In many interpretations of quantum mechanics, observation changes the behavior of particles. And the bigger point for our work, form collapse into specific expressions when a conscious presence observes it. And that collapse is not mystical poetry. It is how the universe makes a tree rather than pure possibility. Meditation mantra, there is no past, there is no future. Drop into the now. 100%. Be in the moment, be in the moment. I love that. We do not consent. Awesome. Totally true. So what does this mean for you? It means your attention has creative potential. Your habitual attention, fear, scarcity, shame, manifests patterns in your body and life. And when you change how you observe, you change what crystallizes within your body. For instance, shift your calibration from being a passive receptor to being an active, deliberate, creative presence. You know, this is not about trying hard either. It is about replacing your identity instead of I am a body who survives, choose again and again. I am. I am presence. I am creativity. I am the I am manifesting now. Imagine a radio that has been tuned to station fear frequencies. You can't hear the music of love because your receiver is tuned wrong. The work is retuning your attention. And the music is always playing. You're simply changing the dial. The agnostics, the demiurge, Sophia, the archeons, reread history with those. The agnostics' teachings are often misunderstood as just ancient myths, that they are in fact psychological and cosmological maps of how consciousness forgets itself. And the story is not meant to be liberal or literal history. It's allegorical. It's a map for inner states. And we've been reading all these ancient texts way wrong. I mean, Sophia, the divine wisdom, often, personified as feminine, who emanates the creation of love. And the demiurge, the false creator who believes itself to be the ultimate, erecting laws and limits. And the demiurge is the principle of separation that makes the world appear hostile to spirit. The archons, thought, form, and control structure that maintain separation and feed off of division. So stop the divide. Stop letting this world divide us and putting people into they and them and this and that and, Hey, how's it going, Sam? Good to see you. So here's some practical stuff. Organized structure that insists on intermediaries and heresies and guilt are reflecting the demiurgic patterns. Okay? Wow, that was a tongue twister and a half. And they keep the cycle going, the story that God is, punitive, other than that salvation must be purchased or meditated. That story is effective, is an effect way, it's basically an effective way to keep individuals externally dependent and giving a place to go put their shift in blame instead of gazing into the mirror and recognizing what's been theirs this whole time. But remember, Sophia, the wisdom within you, calls you back. Sophia's impulse is the reunite when you practice presence and you are listening to Sophia, when you reclaim the I am. You inhabit the pleroma, the fullness, because fullness is simply presence unmasked. Good morning. What are your thoughts on the Charlie Kirk? Well, to be honest, I'm honestly just staying out of all of that stuff because, again, that's just propaganda. That's caused distraction, and that's another form of divide. And again, it's the Matrix playing its game. Everything happens on a pattern. Look at the dates and times and pay attention to the last time we had a shaking like this. I mean, that's the reality. Pay attention. Pay attention to the distractions and don't let yourself be distracted by them. Don't let them even take your time. So let's go to this fullness and simply presence in an unmasked. This is why ancient texts spoke of inner resurrection, awakening while living. We're threatening. We're threatening. If people woke up in their bodies to be living in truth, bodies to the living truth, institutions that governed by external authorities, they would lose their leverage. I don't even pay attention to any of that stuff, to be honest. I don't even look at the news. I don't even watch TV. I fall asleep the moment it's on. It's like I'm in my world. I'm in my moment. What's in front of me is the only thing that matters to me. And that's what's important. That's where it's at. Right now I'm in nature. Speaking of nature, nature is not a metaphor. It is a direct teacher. So everything in nature demonstrates self-organization, interdependence, thrift, and intelligence. Forests communicate, fungal network, trade resources, ecosystems regulate themselves. I mean, there's no manager out there. There's no manager outside of the forest. There's no cops policing them and telling it how to be well. The intelligence is imminent. It's inside. They already know how to be. This mirrors the deeper truth. Creation is not a top-down plan with an external overseer. It is an emergent intelligence expressing through relationships. Human beings are, not separate observers. Looking at nature, we are participating nodes in the web. And when we remember the I am, we also remember that we are an expressions of the creative ground, not mistakes, not sinners, not broken beyond repair. Stand with me for a sec. Stand with your feet on the earth. If you can right now, take your phone or whatever and go be on the earth. Feel that earth supporting you. And say, I am not an object of creator. I am the creator knowing itself as this body. Let that sentence be a sacrament. Here's something you can do. I encourage you to do this, you can do this after we're done here. Sit tall or lie down, soften the face and unclench the jaw and breathe slow. And learn to bring attention to the sense of I, the bare self that is aware. And don't attach any thought or label. And then as thoughts arise, ask gently, to whom does this thought appear? And the immediate answer will be to me. Then ask, who is this me? And don't try to construct an answer. Allow the question to open like a door. And notice the ground of pure presence that remains when you watch through like clouds pass. Rest there. Repeat silently, I am. And don't make it a concept. Make it a felt presence. Feel the saying, I am, energizes the body with a calm, steady feel. Gaze into the mirror even. Be still and know that I am God. Right? When you do that, you might even notice subtle movements in the body. It's called integration. Let it be. If the strong emotions arise, breathe into it and allow the presence to hold the feeling. See, presence does not push anything away. The I am is within you. So, you have now had an experience that taught you something to look within deeper. Stuff I said to you at the end here, what you could do with laying down and what you could ask yourself. When you do that, write down afterwards what you got from it. And remember, it's about practice. So here's a map to help you during the week. Every morning, wake up and say, do I am ritual 5 minutes. Stand, place a hand on your heart. Look in the mirror. Let yourself remind yourself of who you really are. And breathe in and say aloud, I am presence. I birth my life, and feel it. Feel it color the day. And then do an observation break, and at least 3 times a day, pause, breathe, notice what belief runs the moment. I'm not enough. I must perform. And then say this is not true. I am the I am. And redirect that attention to one creative and act. Give a kind word, breathe. Take a full step back or a step forward if you need to. And every day take 15 minutes of barefoot if possible with no devices, naked eyes, just undo everything. Unmeditated earth contact. Just touch base. And once daily journal. Journal 1, fear, lie, and then it's truth. It's counter-truth. So if you get I am alone, the truth is I am a strand in the web of one. And then do daily movements. Make sure we shake that body for 2 minutes, Dance for 5 if you need to. Let the body discharge. Get that discharge, that stuck survival energy. Let it out. The longer you can hold the silence, the deeper it will go. Typically, every 20 minutes, you drop into a deeper layer. Truly blissful, 100%, bro. So who practices presence, not doctrine? Make sure that's important. So basically, the point is consistency. These are small actions with cumulative effects, amazing effects. And some of you will think, if there is no external God, where is morality? Well, let me tell you. And then you're going to ask, well, where's grace? Good question. Morality is in the framework. It is not an external decreed. It grows from recognition of shared being. When you know you are the I am, harming another is harming yourself. Do you hear that? Insulting another is insulting yourself. Attacking another and trolling another is trolling and attacking yourself. See, ethics becomes natural. It keeps looping. What benefits the whole benefits you. See, grace is not a debt paid. to an overseer. Grace is the spontaneous unfolding of presence when we remove the block of belief and separation. And the more you the more you unidentify with limited stories, the more grace operates through you. Do you understand that? Now, accountability, reclaiming inner authority, does not mean unchecked ego, okay? It demands higher personal responsibilities, honestly, self-inquiry, and willingness to be corrected by direct experience and compassionate community. So it doesn't set you off on some ego chase. I do 3 hours every night. Good for you, man. You see, this is not a license to justify harm as spiritual bypass. True non-dual realization intensifies responsibilities precisely because you see interpretation of all life. The I am declaration. So put your hand on your heart with me and feel its rhythm for a second. Let each beat be a drum calling you home. And together now, aloud or in silence, complete these sentences as truth you live. I am the I am. I am the presence that births this world. I do not look outside for my creative authority. I am the breath, the singer, the builder. And now I will live from recognition, not occasionally, not sometimes, as in a daily turn, walking into the world as the I am, manifest not as arrogance, but as service. And the same presence that made the galaxies is animating your hands as they fold, stir, write, and love. And remember, the Matrix is powerful because it is believable. Your liberation is powerful because it is true. And we have pulled a thread, so go home tonight and keep pulling. In the quiet moments, practice those simple experiments and ask who is aware now. And say the answer. You will be surprised how much the world rearranges itself around that recognition. I bow to the presence in you. The work is not to find God. It is to stop thinking God is somewhere else. You are the very showing of God. Now go walk as I am. Please. And tonight before sleep, remember to place your hand on your heart and whisper, I am the I am. And I rest in creation. All right, you guys. Make sure you do one thing towards your dreams every single day. It brings you one step closer. Make sure you recognize that you're valuable and you matter. You're all unique puzzle pieces, a part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. So hang in there, you guys. All right. Anybody got any other comments? Go ahead and make them. Otherwise, it's my Saturday and I'm going to go enjoy it. I just brought you a special today. So world, you guys remember this. This world is going to present a lot of fear. Remember what you are. I am the I am. Peace and love.